So it's Frontiers Woman. It's been out for a little while. Is there a little backstory to it? Tell me about how it came together, first off, if you will.
Yeah, so it was pretty awesome. When I moved to Nashville, I decided to hunker down and record a few tracks, which would become Frontiers Woman. And we did it in a home studio. And I got a lot of the members from the bluegrass community to come in,
Right.
and I gathered them, and I didn't know any of these people.
Right.
Now we're a little bit better friends, but at the time it was like, I was like, man, I got to record something. I'm itching to record. I'm somebody who really likes to do as much recording as possible because I write a lot. So at the time I had a bunch of songs, and they were kind of bluegrass, but they were also a little bit more indie rock. So we did 4 songs
Right.
in the studio, and I worked really closely with the engineer, Kate Haldrup, to kind of craft them because she was not familiar with bluegrass or Americana music so much. She was more of a rock person. So we
Gotcha.
kind of worked together, and over time I decided to do the LP with 7
Right.
songs,
Yep.
and finish that up the end of 2020, and it came out of June this past year.
Right.
June 2021, and I was really excited to get that out to everybody, and I feel good about it. Yeah.
Cool. Now, it's definitely not a rock album. It's more of a, I guess, old Western music is how it's been described in some circles.
Yeah.
How do you describe it?
I like to call it like Appalachian Soul.
Right. Oh, I like
And
that.
And I have a little bit of a darker side. I grew up listening to the Velvet Underground, and
Nice.
I grew up like loving them and loving hardcore music,
Yeah.
but I play folk music, so I think that's why it came out the way it did.
So you grew up in Zelienople, Pennsylvania, which
Yeah.
is, like I said, near where I'm from. So I can't imagine. I grew up. I was there in the '60s. I had no idea who the Velvet Underground was back then. All I had around me were kind of rednecks listening to Johnny Cash and all that stuff. So what was it like for you listening to that stuff in that environment?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, at the high school that I went to, there was definitely a scene of kids who were really into art and music.
Cool.
And so I kind of like listened in art class, and I got really into Lou Reed, and
Yep.
it's all kind of a crazy story. Like I discovered Bob Dylan from a random dude who handed me a USB
Right.
drive, and he said, and I don't know how this guy knew me. I don't know. It was some coffee shop in my hometown, and he must have known about good music, and he must have known that I was like a young musician. He just handed me, and he said, "You need this. It has everything
Everything you need."
And,
It's all Bob, huh? Well, that's great. That's a great way to find out.
it was awesome. And I guess for me, I mean, I love where I grew up. It's beautiful. It's not very many people, and
Right.
Yeah, so I guess I just have a love for like backcountry roads, animals, and kind of the music that inspires, if that
Yep.
makes sense.
Yep. And I see you got your banjo behind you. So what got you playing the banjo?
What got me playing the banjo? Well, I always wanted to play banjo, but I recently found out that my great uncle played banjo, who I didn't know. He's long gone, he's passed, but he played banjo, tenor banjo, in a group in the 40s. And so I think subconsciously that's why, but consciously it was from seeing bluegrass pickers in Pittsburgh, like where I'm from, and falling in love with the mountain music. I don't know why. It just it's something I just felt like I needed to do.
Yep. And so was it pretty obvious from the early stage that you're going to have to move on to Nashville to make this music?
Oh yeah, I mean, I worked with some awesome people in my hometown.
Right.
But I think like even they were suggesting that I move because Nashville is such an obvious place to be when you write lots of songs and you play guitar. So yeah, it was definitely had to happen, and I'm glad it did happen.
Cool. So the sessions that comprise the record, tell me where you recorded and who you recorded with. Did you?
Oh, I can name a few people. There are a lot of people on it.
Oh, really? It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, there are a lot of different players. It was so I recorded it in East Nashville.
Right.
Okay, so at Kate Holdrup's house, which is called Death Ladder Studios. Okay, so that's where we recorded. And it's because she has this ladder that like leads up to a loft, and it's kind of sketchy.
Yep.
I would always hang out on the ladder like while we were recording and just, in the many hours. But the key players were Nick Harley, who played bass. I had Julian Pinelli on fiddle. Julian is amazing fiddler.
Right.
I had Nate Leaf on fiddle. He's also an amazing fiddler. I had Sam Stuckey, who's a fellow musician from Western PA. He did mandolin.
Right.
Well, let me see who else. It's been a while since I've really dug in and listened to it. But yeah, there were just so many people. Like we kind of had to stack the players like song by song and just figure out what worked, which was part of the crazy experiment. So yeah, I'll have to look at the notes and
that's right, fair enough. Well, the last one is Texas Blue Jeans. Is that a pedal steel or is it slide that's in there or what?
Oh, that's a pedal steel.
Driving down the interstate, something hit me like a freight. Ooh, happiness isn't something you borrow, baby, something you take.
And that's by Scotty Murray. He's a really cool steel player out in Nashville. So.
And were you kind of overseeing the recording? You produced the record as well, right? So
yeah, totally.
How did you communicate, and what kind of ideas went back and forth during the making of the record?
For sure. I mean, I actually, it's difficult being a producer type because you stand there and you like direct people and so we would say like, oh, hey, play more like Vassar Clemens or play more like this. Which
of course.
I felt so bad saying that. Like, you're amazing, but also do this. And really it was my first foot in the door producing. So I have a lot more confidence now. But we tried a lot of different things, and I called the players and I decided what instruments would go on the songs, which is a huge part of producing. And so yeah, it ended up being like a fun collaborative process. Honestly, I feel like it was more me and the musicians,
And most of the songs you've written?
Yeah, all of them are written by me. There were no co-writes on this record, no co-writes, but and no covers. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's very good. So, what was the reaction to the record when it came out last year? What happened?
The reaction, yeah. Bluegrass Situation liked Sowing Seeds.
Yeah.
A lot of people really loved my first track, Old Time Lovers. Which was inspired by my time in Asheville, North Carolina.
What were you doing down there?
Just traveling.
Okay.
Just traveling, and I spent some time there getting to know old time music and kind of what that's about. So it was like, I feel like that's the song that I love the most. And I was really happy that people responded to Old Time Lovers the way
Right.
that they did. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just been steady since I released it, just like steadily gaining support and meeting friends, and like I get to meet you, so
All right.
it's
And
good.
are you able to do gigs? I don't know. It seems to be up and down over there these days with the COVID situation and all that. Are you playing out?
Yeah, there are gigs here in town. I do a lot of co-bills with like
Right.
fellow songwriters and stuff like that. And I'll probably go out west on a tour soon.
Right.
So we'll see. Yeah, you can still do shows, just not super big venues.
Yep. Yep. Did it have
Yeah.
to be like socially distanced and all that stuff? Everybody vaccinated.
Oh, not in Nashville. In
No.
Nashville, though, you do have to have a vaccine card.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's
Absolutely.
good. So I'm curious, what connects you to this old time music? Because that music is ancient in some respects, and you are obviously not.
Oh. Some people grow up with bluegrass parents, and some people, and I feel like I'm like a bluegrass surrogate child. Like I feel like
Okay.
I'm the foster child of bluegrass, like, and of not even bluegrass, but Americana and folk. Like I feel like Townes Van Zandt is like my dad, and like
Right.
Bob Dylan's like my great uncle, and they kind of just speak to me and guide me. It's this kind of music has always given me a lot of strength, honestly, like,
Sure.
and wisdom. So I feel like that's why I've been drawn to it. And I think something also inside of me just wants to replicate it, to like give that strength to others and keep the music going.
Cool, cool. I see you made
Yeah.
a video for the song Shooter. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that song and making the video.
Well, if I change, or if then I don't, I'll still be in the ground someday. Well, watery river, won't you paint me a picture? He'll be on the road by spring.
I love doing live videos. I love just like emoting with my face, because it was my first video with Mike from Western AF, and he was super cool. It was just a really awesome time. And yeah, I wanted to do Shooter. It seemed like the most appropriate song to kind of record with him and get out there,
Right, right. I mean, it's a beautiful vocal performance on that and
Thank
on the
you.
whole record. So when you're singing these songs in the studio, are you kind of all by yourself? Because you're the producer as well. So it's up to you, I guess, ultimately to decide what the right take is and all that stuff. Do you have anybody kind of giving you encouragement, or are you alone?
Oh, it's always the engineer's job, I feel, to
Okay.
give encouragement.
Right.
And yeah, my dream is like to produce someday. So everyone that's taught me how to help somebody when they're singing, like it's really good if you can get one take
Yep.
the whole way through.
Rather
And
than
usually it's
chop it
the
up.
first
Yep.
take.
Yeah.
Usually
Yep.
it's the first take, and usually it's just the whole way through is just good. And
Yep.
part of that is the emotion that's in the song.
Yes. I've produced a few records myself. I had a record label back in the States, and I learned the same thing, that always keep the tape running, especially when they're running through it right at the beginning, because that's the magic right there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, I wanted to do Shooter because it has so many it actually is like a deeper meaning. Like the shooter thing has a Western type of connotation, but
Uh-huh.
the meaning is like somebody reached out to me and he said, I thought this was just going to be some like anti-gun legislation song, but it's actually much deeper than that, and it's about you, like, discerning personal things is
Right.
basically
Yeah.
what the song is about. And yeah, so I wanted to do that song because I'm proud of it. I'm proud of that one.
So the record's been out for a while. What have you learned about yourself and the music business in the last 6 months or so?
I've learned that if you do a video with Western AF,
Yeah.
people will not only stream your music, but they
Right.
will buy the digital copies, which
That's
has been great for me.
that's unique.
Which is great for me. I definitely want vinyl.
Right.
I've learned that vinyl takes a very long time.
Well, especially these days, because all the pressing plants are full of pressing up Adele records, I believe. So
Is that what it is?
I blame it on
Dang it.
Adele.
I can't believe Adele is like just like none of the Gen Z kids know who Adele is anymore. I'm the only, like we know Adele, but
There you go. But I think, yeah, but there are new pressing plants popping up all over. We just had one open up here in Auckland, which we never had one before. So, but I think there's like one big plant in Czech Republic, like in Prague, that's doing most of the work at the moment.
that's the one I'm using for
There
my
you
next
go.
record.
Yep.
Yeah, the one in Czech Republic I heard
Yep.
is good, and it's 14 weeks. But this is all boring stuff. Like
No, this is fascinating.
I think like I feel like there's so many things that go into being an independent artist,
Right.
and like just it's so like there must be 32 sides,
Yep.
and record pressing is just one. And so yeah, I do feel like I have, to answer your original question, just gained a lot of knowledge. And I'm not sure if every artist has other people doing it for them.
Right.
I think it's important to like learn.
So do you have a little team around you, or are you doing everything yourself?
I'm getting there. I'm
Okay.
getting there, Marty.
Good on you.
kind of always done it myself. But my current record producer and engineer has been really, really, really great. So
you thinking about the next record already?
I've actually recorded.
Oh man, let's hear it.
I've actually recorded already. Yeah, I've been doing a couple different projects. One of them was straight to tape.
Right.
With a guy named Mike McCarthy, and so I'm thinking about releasing some of those as like bonuses. But the record I did in November was at Sound Emporium, Nashville.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And can you give us a little insight into what that's going to sound like as compared to Frontier's Woman?
It's a little bit more psychedelic, which is like
good.
an element that I liked from Frontier's Woman.
Right.
It's definitely heavy. It was from that time period of 20 to 2021.
Right. That's a heavy guidance.
Some of the themes are like breakup themes too.
Right.
For me, that was like a time when I was in like a very like a COVID relationship.
Oh yeah. It's COVID has created a whole new genre of everything. There's COVID rock and COVID relationships. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different type of thing that and so I wrote a lot of songs, and this one's really different. I mean, it was tracked with a live band.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to hear it. And
yeah, I'm so excited to share. I'm so excited.
Yep, I bet you are. Cool. And well, have you ever been to New Zealand? You probably haven't if you're hanging out in Pennsylvania.
No, but you know what? I heard people were trashing it. Are people coming from all over the world and trashing New Zealand?
No, they wouldn't do that. There are a few that do. You mean like literally trashing it, leaving garbage around?
Yeah. Are the hikers leaving trash?
Sometimes that happens, but I don't want to just to badmouth anybody on camera. So, because I remember when I came here I moved here in '94, and we observed some of that happening when we were kind of scoping out the country, and we're like, why are these people just leaving garbage all over the place? But yeah, it's not a big deal. It's a beautiful country. So there you go.
I know. And your country is so beautiful that like, I almost don't want to set foot on it.
Oh, yeah.
And like with my like American, like my American, like like,
You won't mess it up, I guarantee you.
But-
I mean, if it got through, it put up with me, you'll be fine. I brought the whole family here.
you're there. I'll be okay.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Well, hopefully that will all happen, and I can't wait to hear the new music from you. So thanks for taking time to talk to me. Hope you stay warm in winter there. Don't go out and make a snowman or something.
Thank you so much, Marty. It was so nice to meet you, and thanks for having me on the show.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey, bye-bye.